So you've heard Steely Dan good songs, right? We know that any song on that album is a good song. If there's any Steely Dan song that isn't on that album, it can't be a good song because it wasn't on that album. Critically acclaimed, very good album. I did a review of it. But it doesn't just stop there. I was lucky enough to get another version of not only Steely Dan good songs, but it's actually a combination of two albums. And it's gonna blow your mind. This is how big the anticipation is. So if you thought Steely Dan good songs had the only good songs from Steely Dan, well, you're gonna be so surprised. So here's the thing: if you thought Steely Dan good songs had the only good songs by Steely Dan, you're gonna be. I've never physically had my socks knocked off before, and I might never, but you might experience that right now. Well, the next Steely Dan Good Songs 2.0 is right here. Okay, so this is a good album. Everything Must Go. The last Steely Dan album there was and ever will be a good album. This is a joke. So, I mean, it's a good album, but that's not the thing. It's actually this one. So this actually came two before. It's Gaucho, the seventh album. Very good. My Rival, very underrated track. I had to get other albums, other CDs in this lot in order to obtain this next good song. This is very close, and you'll see what I'm saying in a second. Only a fool would say that's the best song on there. Also a very good album, right? First live album. I really wish they added Black Friday or Chain Lightning or something from Katie Lied. Really good album. I did a review of it. Very close. Another very good album. For some reason, I felt like they had a vinyl release of this for the longest time, but they didn't. I think it's very interesting that they end on Bad Sneakers, one of the best songs in their catalog, but it's kind of interesting that it's after like Kid Charlemagne and My Old School, kind of like the big enders. Okay. Steely Dan, Reelin' in the Ecstasy. This joke cost me more than I'd like to admit to get this lot of CDs. It's about but I think it was worth it because, good song Steely Dan good songs was just so powerful to see. In complete honesty, it was awesome to see someone's father made kind of mixtape that was just very well done, and it just had a lot of heart in it. And again, Through with Buzz. What other songs did I have? And Turn on That Heartbeat Over Again. Really good selections, very interesting selections. Steely Dan, Reelin' in the Ecstasy. And on the bottom it says, Vintage Dan from vintage years for vintage ears. I saw this and I would show it head on, but they got this the glare here, so it's like not bad. Oh, that's interesting. So the print is actually upside down compared to the actual print of the CD. So here's the next test. So we gotta verify if the Steely Dan good songs are on Steely Dan Reelin' in the Ecstasy, because that's really gonna. So here are the tracks on Steely Dan Reeling in the Ecstasy, right? Did you read all that? With a name like that, you'd think, okay, well, Can't Buy a Thrill and Countdown to Ecstasy, it's just going to be stuff from the two albums. No, it does say Vintage Dan, and the third and fourth album are still Vintage Dan, as are probably everything from 72 to 80. First song, Showbiz Kids. Second, very interesting choice for the first one. It's a good song. I think it's a little monotonous, to be completely honest. It's one of their most out there songs. I would argue even kind of more out there than some of the stuff on Pretzel Logic, just the constant, cyclical. It's I love the funk version. I wish Donald did it more live. Pearl of the Quarter, the second song, really underrated, extremely underrated. I used to not care for it too much. When I first heard it, I thought like it was kind of like a slow hit, on an album that had like Bodhisattva, King of the World, like My Old School, Your Gold Teeth, a really like nice jazz groove. it seemed kind of out of place at first, but I wasn't as bright as I back then as I am not now. The third song is Monkey in Your Soul. This was very interesting. I know a lot of people hate or the general idea is that most people don't care for it too much. I really, really, really like Monkey in Your Soul. I like it a lot. I think it's really funny, great lines. I love that Walter sang it. I really wish I could have seen him sing it. It's just a really interesting song. I fear the monkey in your soul. I don't feel the monkey. Dirty Work, of course, good choice. Throwback the Little Ones. Another closer on Katie Lie as opposed to Monkey in Your Soul closing on Pretzel Logic. Throwback the Little Ones is another one of those songs where it's just like, it's such a good song. It's so cool. Just kind of the piano, I don't know how to describe it, just the whole feel of it. And of course there are many different kind of like theories on what is it about. Like, is someone selling dope? Someone, he's not actually in the barrio. He's, or maybe it's like some kind of code word, or some people, I think another theory I saw was someone saying like it was an artist who's like, basically like selling himself kind of to the industry. Only a fool would say that after that one. So I had to, this person had such good taste in these rarities of the day. I mean, every dance song is a good song. Who am I kidding? Razor Boy, another really good one. I wish they'd do the actual version live. Jazz versions with the Danettes and, Jim Beard playing the long piano stuff is cool. It is cool. It's really unique. It's interesting. But this just this groove in the original version. And I could be wrong, but I think one of the recent Jeff Skunk Baxter interviews, Skeff Junk Baxter interviews that he did in preparation for Speed of Heat, or after it released, he did like a Q&A live, and someone asked him like, what's your favorite Steely Dan song that you played on or whatever. I think he might have said Razor Boy was like the one that he thought really captured their sound.
Do I still listen to Steely Dan anymore? Occasionally, absolutely. My favorite Steely Dan song, I think, would be Razor Boy from the Countdown to Ecstasy album. I think that captured pretty much what the band was all about.
Yeah, the answer I just gave is different than the question that I gave. So, but yeah, it's one of those interviews. Brooklyn. So Brooklyn knows a charmer under me. I don't want to say it blows Dirty Work out of the water, but I think, like I mentioned before in my ranking video I did with Zamari, I think that from a vocal standpoint, it's so smooth, and it's just such a nice kind of like call to New York, and it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. I think it's a very pleasant song, and I wish it was as popular as Dirty Work. But at the end of the day, why does it really matter? I guess it would matter because it means that they would play it more often than having him just have Connor Kennedy sing it like twice, and that's it. Any Major Dude Will Tell You, another really, really good song. Very, very good song. Daddy Don't Live in That New York City No More. Although here it just has room for Daddy Don't Live in That New York City. So it's not the full song, but it's part of the song, and then like 80% of the way through they end it. No, another really good choice. I also wish I could have seen Donald Walter sing it. I think, because he's the OG, like Steely Dan Daddy.
Sad but true. Daddy don't live in that New York City no more, but Daddy sure is glad to be here in Detroit with you tonight.
Dr. Wu. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you can't go wrong. Turn That Heartbeat Over Again. Such a wonderful all these nice little rarity closers that they added on this list. So 12 songs. I believe Steely Dan Good Songs had 16. So it says 44 minutes, 13 seconds overall. Vintage Dan, Steely Dan. And inside, oh man, just a fun little thing. I really didn't have to get it. I'm gonna go pick up some food now and listen to it in the car. It's just nice collecting these little bootlegs. Or I feel kind of dirty calling it a bootleg because it's like they put effort into making this, and it's just nice to see like I said for Steely Dan Good Songs. Why do people put the certain song that they do put on their playlist? Right, so like I'm sure you guys have your own playlists. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you actually had a mixtape back in the day. Maybe you had like CDs like this that you made your own playlist on. But like, why do you choose to put certain songs on there that you put on there? I mean, it's such an open-ended question. It's not really right or wrong answer. Might be kind of like silly to ask, but it's really interesting because it makes you wonder, like, well, does this person listen to all their catalog and they just like these, or maybe like, because this is just like the first 4 albums, so maybe this person is kind of like more of like a rocking kind of type person, and they don't really care for much of the later stuff, or maybe they never listen to it. It's kind of fun to speculate that sometimes, but that's, so that kind of, yeah, I'm not always in my head, I promise. But, so hopefully you got something out of this. Hopefully, put in a comment if you think that Reeling in the Ecstasy can compete with Steely Dan good songs. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I didn't put Reeling in the Years on this, but yeah, it's just awesome. So, thank you again for watching the video. You're welcome for the video. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll do another ranking video with Zamari at some point, maybe a couple other people. Hope you're doing well. Take care.